like, first you can see quite clearly actually obviously the width, the stance, and your sort of setup being quite sort of dramatic behind the golf ball there and so on. As much as you feel your hands have changed quite a bit, don't they? You feel like you've moved a lot over there with that left hand. There's your grip now. I think that's pretty much your grip when you sort of set up there. So it hasn't really moved that much over. It has moved a little bit over. I mean, generally you can sort of see if I sort of put a line through the shaft here and there. That's on the club where. On the club there. There we go. There's the shaft there. Okay. So your bit of Velcro there and that black bit there now is kind of on that green line, where that one's just off. So you move it about that much. It feels to you, you go, "Way, I moved it way over, done that." Okay, but it just shows when you get it into that position, your right arm just sort of sits a bit more in its kind of more natural sort of socket rather than trying to do this. So many guys try and get their right hand on top and smother. This elbow gets high, the shoulder gets high, the elbow gets twisted out there. When you start there now, you're not going to be able to turn any further left. So your arm's going to generally come back to a more natural position, which means if I got the golf club square at that point, my arm here, I can't go any further, so it's going to come back to a more natural, and there's the club face. Yeah, so the more you put your hands over, think about if you're driving a car. If we're driving a car here now, and then this is the sort of the steering wheel of the car, okay, that's aiming square, okay. If we want the club face to rotate in that direction, which is to the left, obviously, that is the steering wheel turn to the left. If you were trying to turn on a left-hand corner, you wouldn't turn your hands in that position, driving a car, to go on a left-hand bend, would you? Because you can't go any further. Yeah. From there, you can go a long way right, which means the club face can go a long way right. Okay, yes. Just making sure your hands are far enough to the side there where they need to be. Like I said, we can grip it in the fingers. Okay, it just sits in that little pad there. This thing can just sit on top now with no pressure. When you put your finger across there, my hands were just resting on top. There's no pressure in there. I'm not squeezing in there. But if you're gripping in the palm as you were, this finger's wrapping around here. There's that wobble in the back of the fingers there, and now your hands almost trying to squeeze on top to try and put pressure in between the gap there and the fingers, okay? And that's going to cause a lot of problems because your forearms get tight, you can't really control that club face. Fingers are loose but secure. You don't want the club to be fighting your hands, obviously, but it needs to be in the right position, okay? And then I think swing-wise, as we said, again, from there now not being so far behind the ball and sort of tilted, we can rotate the body nicely. From there, the sensation, as we said, your arms will be just sort of dropping down the goal, but don't sort of throw them out to try and hit the ball from out here and in front to perhaps try and hit it to the left if you're slicing the ball to the right. Let the arms just sort of drop down to here. If you come back into it, that angle now is going to be maintained nicely, which you can see. And then from this point here now, we can start just swishing that club. So we unhinge and hinge the wrist there as you go back, and you see a nice sort of good turn of the wrist there. It feels like you're rolling your arms. You're not, basically. If we sort of look at that position there now, if your head was just facing that way, all we've got there is your arms in front of your chest and the club up there. So basically we've got that over there. You haven't gone that way. It's just a hinge of the wrist, unhinge of the wrist at the golf ball. Okay, I think some of these ones before we sort of got a little bit sort of pushed off there. You can see your arms and how high your left elbow is. Where your right arm is there, the club is up there. When your right arm is there, the club is there, because that left elbow is high, and that way it's sort of gone like a crease shot. So this elbow, that one arm, so with the left arm, that's the motion we're trying to make. So it's a hinge, unhinge, hinge, unhinge, not hinge and then straight line. Because if the thumb stays that way, the club's going to the right. Squares the club face up. Okay. It's not a rolling of the arm, it's basically an unhinging of the wrist as you go back and through. Make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Good. Put into practice, obviously, okay? I think that grip, though, for you is going to be something that takes a little bit of getting used to. Like I say, you can stand up to the golf ball. When you sort of set up there with your feet like so, just rest, hold the club in your left hand kind of across there. Visually, from your eye line looking down, the club will be going across, the shaft will be across your toe line. So the club sort of looking down there, you hold the club. After a while, that will just become so natural how you hold the golf club, you won't need to do that. You just grab the club and that's your normal grip. So you'll see there's a little V there going to your right shoulder. These two knuckles here are clear as day, and the foot's on your glove. If your hand's in the palm there, a bit around this way, yes, you might be able to see that there, but if it's in the palm and you do that, that's the problem. It's where the hand's in. Think about when you hold the basket. When you walk on the range holding your golf bag, where do you hold the golf bag in? You hold it there. You wouldn't hold it. Feel rather heavy rather quickly, wouldn't it? Okay? Good stuff.